Thank you.
I want to call to order the regular Iberville Parish Council meeting, May 20th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Before we start our meeting, I'd like to have, we've had an individual who served many years on the police jury and on the parish council, served with some of us here, some of us longer than others. And I'd like to have a moment of silence. He passed away this week for Mr. Buck Jackson. Thank you. Now I'd like to call on Mr. Bart Morgan to lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
We would just stand and indivisible, liberty and justice.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to say something on Buck for Buck.
Sure.
He's a good man. He served on the council like 32 years. Great man. Everybody in the community loved him, and he had helped anybody he could. The old ticket just finally give out on it, but he was good all the way to the end, and there wasn't nothing anybody asked that he wouldn't do. Mr. Frazier can vouch for that too, 'cause he lived right by him too.
Mr. Frazier, any comment?
No comment.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Okay, I want to remind the public that anyone that wants to speak or have any public comments must fill out a card and register with the clerk. And on the presentations and appearances, roll call, please.
Allen. Here. Easley. Here. Dominique.
Here.
Frazier.
Yeah.
Smith.
Here.
Pierce.
Present.
Jenkins. Here. Marcus.
Yes.
Bradford.
Here.
Martinez. Here. Dart.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
Jewel.
Here.
Let the minutes reflect that we do have a quorum. And under presentations and appearances, we have a material resources, road condition survey, a presentation.
Agenda. My name's Colby Moore, Material Resources. We do pavement preservation and maintenance throughout the parish. We've been doing it since about 2009. We started crack sealing. I'm sure y'all seen that on some of the roads, but really we're just trying to make the roads last longer. And part of our mission with that is to observe the roads and see what kind of condition they're in. Because if you don't know what you have, you can't really take care of them. So this year we actually introduced a new system, which is this box I have right here in front of me that mounts to the front of our trucks. And we road monitored every single road in the parish. I actually rode every single road in the parish, all 145 miles, and the roads are in fantastic shape. So out of a 100 score on the PCI scale, y'all are at an 86 overall, which is really, really good. I've seen a whole lot worse. So our preservation has been working. And because it's been going for so long, I don't know if the parish will need to bond again like they did in the past. I'm not 100% certain of that, but that's kind of what I've heard is they might not need to go out to bond and y'all can manage the roads internally. So I had some printouts. I can leave them up here if anybody wants them, but essentially the system gives you this dashboard. You can click on whatever road you want to. It'll show pictures. It takes pictures about every 20, 30 feet. And it gives an assessment of that road. So it uses AI to go through the images, measure the cracks, the potholes, everything. But the other good thing about this system is they do have people that go through and check that after the fact because you can't just leave everything up to AI. So again, this is really just a unbiased, subjective view of all the roads in the parish. So anybody can go look on the map, click on your roads that you want to see, and it's also color coded as well, just kind of showing you good roads, bad roads. But for the most part, the parish has fantastic roads, with the exception of a handful. So, and that's it. Again, we specialize in pavement preservation and trying to make the roads last longer, and this is just part of our program. To be able to give y'all more data and information on your roads, because if you don't know what you have, then he can't really take care of it. So I appreciate y'all's time. And if anybody has any questions,
Question. Is this in the parish? And you said just the parish roads, or is it the state road and the city roads?
it was just the parish roads for the parish. The city of Plaquemine did
Yeah.
get involved as well and have the program done as well. So we do have the city of Plaquemine, but other than that, it was just the parish owned roads. Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Give us a bunch of colors right quick. Green means good.
Green means good, red means bad. So it's kind of like a heat map. The only thing you'll see on there is there's a few blues every now and then, and that's when a road turned into gravel. So we're really trying to assess either concrete or asphalt. So you can see Bayou Pigeon down there turned into gravel. So you have a pretty big blue section. But other than that, yes, it'll be kind of like a heat map, green all the way to red. But most of y'all's is green with a few of them in the kind of orange to yellow area. But like I said, overall y'all are in 86, which is fantastic. They have a lot of places that, I mean, probably in the 50s, 60s, they just can't keep up with them. So the parish has done a fantastic job keeping up with their roads and doing the maintenance.
Thank
Can I
you.
get a copy
And-
of that, please?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because I would like to see where the blue section is by Pigeon.
The blue section
Yeah.
at the end.
That's the gravel road from the end.
So yeah, where the pavement ended at,
Yeah.
that was where the blue section was.
Okay.
Although we drove down it, it just doesn't register because it's gravel. And this is just a simple little handout. It just shows you like what the dashboard looks like. And in the back, it's each section of road, PCI going from worst to best. So you can feel free to look through it. And if anybody else wants any, I'll just leave some up here.
You can give it to her. She can make copies. So sure. Thank you. Yes, please.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
That's okay. Thank you. That's good.
Any other questions?
You have a map with all the roads that have all the roads on it that you check.
Yes, sir. Every road in the parish, we got the
Brochure you have there is about all the roads that you have.
it's a general overview of it. Again, most of this is going to be on the online dashboard where you can access it. This just shows you the first page is I tried to get all the roads in there. The second one is potholes around the parish that I marked and pulled up. And then the third thing included again is a list of all the sections of roads going from worst to best. Just so y'all have it.
This is some pretty good information. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Now, with that being said, if I go down one of my roads and I'm like, why in the world did he give it this high of a score if it's in bad shape? Can I
Yeah, I
contact
think
you?
you'll have to check. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and you'll have to check the section because sometimes you'll have a new section of a road and an old section still left, so they're divided up. So yeah, if you do see anything like that, just let me know.
Thank you.
No problem at all.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. We
Thank y'all.
appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Once again, I want to remind you, if you want to speak about anything that's going to be voted on tonight, I know several of you are here from a certain district, you need to register with the clerk. So nobody's registered so far, so I just want to remind you of that. Okay, reading and approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to forward the reading of the minutes and accept as written.
There's a motion on the floor and a second by Mr. Bradford. Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Beasley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Yes.
Motion carries. President's report. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the council. I am here today. The first thing I'm going to do is recognize an employee. We have a 5-year employee that met that milestone this month. We have Giles Hillary here today. He is here. Come on up, Giles. Giles started in IPRD, and recently, within the last few months, he's moved to solid waste. So we appreciate all your hard work and congratulations on your 5-year commitment.
District 1. He's from District 1.
And he's from District 1.
Thank you.
Miss Allen's district. All right, I'm gonna go on. All of you have a copy of this president's report. It's definitely been a long month. As you see on my report, there's so many items on here, as well as so many events, public events that have happened since then. I'm gonna go into our ITEP committee, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. Our very first ITEP committee underneath the new rules, met today with the sheriff and the superintendent of the school board. We did approve Shintech's 2024 ITEP application, which is a 80-20, which fell underneath the guidelines of last year's requirements. Going into the future, any projects that are above 500 million qualify for a mega ITEP. Some new language that we've never had here in Iberville. So a mega project may qualify from anything between a 93.7 and all the way up to 100%, based on what the agreement is. So we're going to have discussions about that in the future, about a future project that's coming down the line. We did have, that many of you attended, our first annual Iberville Day at the Capitol, at the state capitol. And that was a huge success that we had. That was on May 6th. You know, we thank many of you for coming. And that was also a great way to show off Iberville Parish. We had, had great food from Iberville Parish that were there from contractors. And we also had other partners that contributed and made sure that it was a success. We got a lot of compliments on that, and we're looking forward to having that day at the Capitol every year. Last week on May 14th, Wednesday, we did proclaim John Foster Day. American Idol runner-up held a concert right here in Plaquemine. He is from Iberville, but his mom does live here in Plaquemine. We had the event here with the support of the mayor's office and our team. We collaborated and held a great event that had over 10,000 attendees come to the waterfront park in Plaquemine, and ended with fireworks. It was a great show. Next, we had that railroad board project. We did sign the contract, Mr. Morgans, and we are waiting for the contractors just to get started. So when they have X amount of days, and they're gonna get started with the LA1 board project, which is gonna be from Olin and the credit union. That's gonna go all the way underneath LA1 and underneath the railroad as well. It's gonna be a 42-inch pipe that is gonna assist with drainage and making sure that area doesn't flood anymore.
Appreciate you staying on top of that.
Yes, sir. The mayor's meeting, we did have a mayor's meeting recently. That mayor's meeting was in Plaquemine last week. That mayor's meeting was focused on EOC. We had EOC Director Clint Moore, and it was the focus of hurricane preparedness, making sure that we have some new mayors, and they needed to know, some of the preparation that's coming down the line, and how do we prepare when those hurricanes are announced, and they're, our parish is a target. So we had that meeting in preparation of hurricane season. We have received a permit for Union Pacific. This is one that I've been waiting on personally since last year. So this project will start on June 2nd, 2025. Our DPW have already gotten with John Overton and our DPW crew. We will be cleaning all of the vegetative debris coming into Iberville Parish, from the parish line across from Dow all the way to the Dow light. It's really going to enhance the entrance into Iberville, and it's going to go with our initiative, the Keep Iberville Beautiful initiative. I do want to talk a little bit about MRI. They brought this opportunity to us this year for the very first time with this new plan to scan the roads and use this AI technology. Going into this year, we're actually spending $3 million in roads, in road work. With the largest road that is being repaired is going to be Evergreen Road, the road that leads to a lot of our industry and a lot of that commitment and tax revenue that generates by the parish. So that project alone is going to be right under $1 million to make sure that we overlay and mill and do a good job of repurposing Evergreen Road. So that project is in the works, and off of the data that came from here, that's how we derive the roads that are going to have repair work this year, and we're going to get that list to you so y'all have all of the roads that are being repaired. The projects coming down the line, we do have some IPRD bathrooms that are coming in. They're set to be advertising in early June, so we'll have those coming down the line. Speed limit caution signs, we are ordering more. We had an original quote of 10, but we are going to be advertising for more than that. So once we get that quote, we're going to get with you council members to make sure, see if there's any roads in your districts that you are interested in putting that sign that may read what the driver is is going, how fast they're going down the road. So it may say, it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and if they're going 40, it's going to be flashing at them. It's going to be red. It's just another safety feature that we're working to try to slow down some of the speeding that's going on in our communities and our neighborhoods. The railroad cleanup efforts, I just talked about that. Next Era Solar Farm community meeting was on May 1st. We had that meeting a few weeks ago. From here, we're going to be meeting with Next Era in a few weeks, and we're going to kind of talk with them about the next steps in the ordinance and the process. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. The capital.
I don't mean to back you up. But
Yes, sir.
when we tell, coming in from the dial, when we tell them, trees down and all that, we're gonna be taking care of that, the parish, or the state's gonna be cutting the grass, or
Well,
we need to write something to the state?
no, so that's a good question. We did approach the state about taking over the median in the middle, and they're not, right now, they said they don't have additional funding for that. So what you notice is when you go into a lot of these cities, okay, you go into Addis, Blackman, White Castle that are on the major highways in LA1, they actually get funding from the state. We inquired about that, and they told us that at this time there isn't any additional funding. But once we do get it graded, cleaned out, we do plan on maintaining it because it's going to be a vital,
So we're gonna be maintaining it as soon as we cut it down, or it's gonna be a little while?
Well, there's still a lot of work to do. It's going to be months of work of getting the vegetative debris out there, as well as bringing dirt in to make sure that we are, getting the right slopes and make sure that it drains correctly. But our intention is to long-term maintain it. That way, we're not relying on the state where, it may have 3-foot tall grass. Yes, sir. No, good question. We do have some capital outlay requests out there. I mentioned these projects to y'all recently that we are working on. And like I said, since last month, we've had the Council on Aging Fish Fry. That was everything that I'm about to mention is after last month's council meeting. On Wednesday, April 16th, we had a Council on Aging Fish Fry. It's another huge success. And it was right at Easter time. So a lot of the seniors brought their Easter hats, and they were very creative. So it was a lot of fun for our seniors. On April 22nd, we had our incinerator ribbon cutting ceremony where we had our Secretary of DEQ from Baton Rouge came down in attendance. On the 29th, we had our chamber luncheon in St. Gabriel where I gave a State of the Union speech to the chamber members in St. Gabriel about how far we've come in roughly 15 months and what are the next steps for the parish government. Next Era community meeting was on May 1st, and then Iberville Day at the Capitol was May 6th. I do have some upcoming events for you guys. I just wanted to let you know we do have Camp 360. It also starts on June 2nd, and some of your summer workers are actually going to be working Camp 360 and some other events across the parish. So we know that all of you have turned in your summer workers. So we're going to be working and meeting with them to get them started within the next few weeks. We do have our Plaquemine Locks grand reopening. The parish government was a big supporter in making sure that we supported the Plaquemine Locks and the effort to preserve the history and with the renovations that were needed. And then last is our Juneteenth event at the Civic Center. It's coming up on Thursday, June 19th. One thing that I will also say is that I did make a statement recently about the loss of Nottoway. Nottoway was a staple in Iberville Parish for a very long time. Yes, it is tied to a time that many of us don't want to remember. But it is history. It has been utilized for many other purposes. There are a lot of family members, a lot of people that have had a lot of memories out there as well, and a lot of public events that have been hosted at Nottoway. Our fire department, I don't know if some of you may know, when the fire was announced, I was the first one that was on scene from the parish and the fire department. It was definitely a tragedy to lose such an important history, because it was used for many other things, not just the history, but it was used for educational purposes as well, to help remind us of the past and to bring that togetherness of how do we move forward, from and learning from the past history. But are there any questions on the president's report? I know y'all have a long agenda.
The flood levy in Pigeon?
So the flood levy, we are still working on that. We have turned it over. The funding that we have for that, we're waiting on the grant money that is coming down. The grant money that was being allocated to that last month that we talked about within that time frame, the state had reached out to us and they wanted a shovel-ready project, which means what do we have in front of us that is almost ready to go today? We did turn in another application for a project that is going on at EOC, at the emergency preparedness, how we are increasing the capacity of our 911 operators that work hand in hand with our sheriff's department dispatchers. So we took that funding at this time and it's allocated towards there. The goal is still to move forward with the Bayou Pigeon Levee project.
Which means we have to submit another grant?
No. If this project comes through, then what we're gonna do is, the intention is the funding that we had available, set on the side for the EOC, we would use the internal funding of the parish and come back to you guys and say, hey, we would like to reallocate this money and then reallocate it to the purposes of the Bayou Pigeon Levee. So that project is not dead, Ms. Easley. It is in the top 5 of our priorities. Yes, ma'am. Any
I
other
don't have a
questions?
question, but I do want to give a thank you to Keegan and Mr. Dave Keller because they have personally been taking time out of their day to come meet with me at residents' homes that has issues with ditches and different things, and they've been on top of it. I also want to say that the animal shelter, the staff there is incredible. I know they overloaded, but they personally come down when I need them, and we work together to do things. And I just really want to see if we can do more for them because I know there's some resources that we could do better with, and I know they're overloaded from what happened last night with the vet. So I just feel like we need to kind of do a little more for the animal shelter, and I told the ladies there I would speak for them, so I wanted to give them a shout out.
Yes, ma'am. There was in the animal shelter report that came out on Channel 9, there was some misinformation in there. It said that the parish animal control had received 30 animals, and that case is not true. Prior to the parish government being called out on Sunday night, we only received 5 animals, and those 5 dogs were housed here in the parish. Prior to that, we had 2 nonprofits per se from Baton Rouge that actually came in and collected over 20 of those animals. So the parish government did not collect 30. We only collected 5, and we did it and documented it to make sure that according to the guidelines that Allison follows. So she did do a good job. And also, you know, all of our teams that did really step up and support the city of Blackman in last week's event. I mean, it was a very team effort. It was IPRD, it was DPW, it was sanitation. Like all of our teams really worked hard, and we even had some employees give up their time, and they worked that evening just to support the event at no extra no extra hours or overtime. So some did receive it, but some didn't. The ones that are on, like supervisors, they gave their time and they put that effort in to make that event a success. So I want to thank them publicly.
Chris,
Thank you.
I wanted to let you know the lady that got Marguerite Plantation in St. Gabriel, the day that Nottaway burned, she got a lot of calls over there for her place over there to utilize it. So I know it's a loss over here, but I hate to say it's a gain over there, but
Yeah.
because she's gotten a lot of calls.
Yeah, she has a great facility as well. Yes, sir.
Any other questions
So
for?
for the locks, just to get it straight, the parish is, I know it's in the district and all that, we taking care of the grass and maintaining that, or the state's still gonna do that?
No, so the grass is maintained. The agreement that is out there is the city of Plaquemine maintains the
Oh,
grass.
yeah.
So the state now has a current allocation of $60,000 in the state funding that they contribute towards whatever purposes we see fit at the locks and that the board chooses. But the city really maintains the property. Last week, what we did on Monday morning, we gave it an extra team effort to say, hey, let's support the city of Plaquemine and give them some additional resources to make sure that the locks, the grounds, and everything was in tip-top shape for the event.
Thank
Yes, sir.
All right,
Thank you.
Mr. President, I want to add one question.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I know we've been overwhelmed with limbs and debris and that kind of stuff, but I got chewed out a couple times this week. The Wheelock area looks like a third world country, hadn't been out there in about 3 weeks, so if we could get some help on
Okay.
that. And also, the town of Rosedale has a lot of limbs and debris in the park area. They want to try to get cleaned up. I know they had talked to you about it.
Yes, sir, they did. And then one thing that we're doing is one of the sites that we got approved prior to last year, we actually have a new site certified going down on Bayou Blue Road. So we have a site that we just started clearing out that's going to actually make us more efficient. So what happens is when we're sending a boom truck and we go all the way to Maringouin, well, we have to come all the way to Plaquemine, come down Enterprise, and we have to go drop off that material before we can go all the way back to Maringouin. So by creating this additional site right there on Bayou Blue, it's going to cut that time in half, and it's going to make us more efficient and then pick up at a faster rate. So we are creating that, and DPW was out there with the dozer this week, and they were clearing it out. So everything's getting close. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Randall, financial.
Good evening, council chair, council clerk. Y'all have y'all financials. I mean, I think the key takeaway from financials is, again, on sales tax revenue. If y'all had a chance to review y'all sales tax report on page 7, that's a good page to look at. It compares the last 2 years with the current year sales tax collection. So we're a little, I mean, last year was a banner year. Going through 3 months of the year, we're under 2023 by 600,000. So we're actually slightly underneath budgeted revenues, sales tax revenues for the year, because I never budget at, always budget conservatively. So nothing to be alarmed about just yet. I keep an eye on it every month.
Yeah, Randall, that's what I was looking at. So we're down 4.3 million from last year's
Right.
collections.
Yeah.
And our budget, we have some.
Yeah,
Good
we're
one there.
we're not down budget wise by that amount, no, because I think I budgeted 20% lower than we collected in 2024. So I'm always real conservative on the what I'm budgeting on sales tax, just in case.
Tax
Yeah.
collection.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, another comment on the roads. If anybody, we're gonna send y'all a list of the roads that's being done in y'all's area. If y'all have a question, if y'all want to look at the condition of the roads when they went out and kind of see how it works, just give me a call. If you know of a hot spot, pothole, road sloughing off, alligator cracking, or something that it don't hurt. Don't just assume that we caught it. Just give me a call, give us a call, and let us know. We'll start making a list of those to make sure that those are, if they're not included, that we at least get in and patch those spots when we go in. The audit is being conducted right now. The annual comprehensive financial report will be ready on time in June. I don't anticipate any delays. We're preparing everything right now. I think that's it.
Any questions, Mr. Dunn?
I have one question.
Sure.
Hey.
So, read an article not long ago about the opioid money.
Yep.
They were complaining about the municipalities and the local governments not spending that money.
Yeah.
And I was wondering how much money have we received from that?
Yeah. So.
And have we put that to?
Yes, so that's funny you asked that. We've received over $200,000, and we hired a consultant to pretty much revamp our substance abuse department, trying to figure out who we can partner with to maybe get some of these folks that come in to get more people in, that aren't directed directly from the court system. Maybe some walk-ins, and be able to get them, not turn them away because we don't have anything to offer. So we have a consultant working on that right now. But to answer your question, I think we have spent $75,000 went to supplement our program, because I've been really leery about spending that money right now, because I want to make sure it's spent in the most efficient, effective way. So we're looking at that right now. Chastity Martinez was involved with that. She's got a special place, and I guess she wants to make sure that our program is successful, and it's just something that we need to look at and make sure that we're taking care of. We're offering more services than just
Future money's coming down.
No, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to spend it on something that we're not supposed to spend it on too. So I want to make sure that we're setting forth the policies that are spending it correctly.
So the 75,000, can you get with me and let me know? I would like to know
Yeah.
how that was used.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions for Mr. Dunn? Thank you, Randall, appreciate it. Okay, before this meeting, we did have a public hearing on 3 proposed ordinances. We're gonna go vote on ordinance A. Ordinance to declare the following property to be surplus and to authorize the parish administration to sell the parish of Iberville's interest in the property that public sale pursuant to the terms of ordinance 002-13. I need a motion and a second on that ordinance.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Bradford, second by Mr. Markins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Motion carries. Second ordinance to sell properties previously to be declared surplus by IBC ordinance 016-17 to neighboring property owners pursuant to the terms of ordinance 002-13. Ms. Allen, I know you want to make a motion on that in this.
Correct. I'd like to motion, to exclude parcel number 01100279550, to exclude that property, to table it, so we can look at it more.
Do I have a second to that?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Pierce. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Ordinance C is to sell properties previously declared to be surplus by IPC ordinance 016-17 to neighboring property owner pursuant to the terms of ordinance 002-13. Robert J. McGarner and others. Do I have a motion on the ordinance C?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Easley,
Second.
second by Ms. Allen. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Motion carries. On the new business, we do have an ordinance that we're gonna propose to adopt a millage rate for tax year 2025. We wanna move that to a public hearing on June the 17th, 2025. Mr. Dunn?
Yeah, just setting it for public hearing. It's not a roll forward. It's adopting the adjusted rates from 2 years ago. Same thing we did last year.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Frazier, second by Mr. Dominique. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Yes, with no increase.
Motion carries. Okay, we do have a conceptual approval of Grand Oaks Apartments project proposed to be located on Bellevue Road. Mr. Alvarez?
Yeah, good afternoon, council chair, members of the council. My name is Evan Alvarez. I'm one of the attorneys for the parish. As indicated, this agenda item asks the council to consider the conceptual approval of a proposed development by Roanoke Development LLC. If you recall, there was a presentation at last month's meeting where Mr. David Strange of Roanoke presented the proposed development. And if you recall, that proposed development was essentially a 3-story apartment complex that is proposed to be located along Bellevue Road in a vacant field that's right across from the current mobile station. And essentially what the developer was going to the council for at last month's meeting was that the developer wanted I guess some indication from the council in terms of whether it approved or whether it supported this project or not. The issue that we ran into after reviewing the matter is that typically the parish council does not get involved into proposed developments at this particular stage at which the development is proposed. There is a site plan review process that ultimately runs through the council. But prior to that ever getting to the council, these plans, formal plans are submitted. The matter is run through planning commission. There'll be public hearings, and then it eventually works its way to the council. At this particular time, the developer has not been able to complete and finalize the site plan due to some issues that they're working with, which have nothing to do with the parish. So the official process has not technically started. That being said, after considering the matter, along with administration, we feel that it's in the best interest of both the parish and the developer that the parties agree to some mechanism by which the council would essentially do a early consideration of this project. And the reason for that is, if the parish is not comfortable with the proposed development or the proposed development at this particular location, it's better to go ahead and make that finding now, as opposed to sending this through the formal process, sending it through all your in-house reviews and your permit reviews, and sending it through planning commission and all of those other all those other processes. Alternatively, this would be conceptual approval tonight. So even if the parish gave conceptual approval tonight, that would not prevent this project. With the proposed development would still have to go through all the formal channels, i.e. planning commission, the site review process. We have verbally spoken with the developer, and we've exchanged some written communications with them. So they are in agreement with this proposed plan. They understand that, this is kind of a unique deal that the parish is doing, which is not necessarily provided for in ordinance, but is probably in both parties' best interest. They understand that the parish is basically honoring their request that they be given some early indication as to whether the parish is going to support this project or not. And they understand that even if the project were to be conceptually approved tonight, that doesn't stop them from having to go through the official project. And they further understand that even if this thing did go through the official channels after a conceptual approval tonight, that's no guarantee that this parish council would even approve it on the back end. That being said, you have been presented with some information about this project. You've had a chance now to talk to members of your districts in terms of their thoughts and feelings of the project. So, it is our recommendation that if the council is not in favor of this project, tonight's probably the best time to go ahead and make that finding. Just so this is not hanging over the developer, it's not hanging over the citizens of the parish about is this going to happen or not happen. So that being said, I know the developer is here to, I guess, give the council some more information or just refresh the nature of the development. And then I understand there's probably a lot of members of the public that are here to speak as well.
Excuse me, sir, but we already saw the presentation. I don't think there's any reason for
Okay.
us to look at the presentation again.
Okay.
I think at this point, we just need a motion and a second on this thing, and let's vote on this thing and get it going. Yeah, okay. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna entertain a motion and a second, and then I'll open it for discussion, and we'll call on the public who's registered to speak, and then we'll go ahead and vote on it. So I'd like a motion right now at this time.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Easley, second by Ms. Martinez.
What's the motion?
The motion is to approve the Granite Apartment project proposed to be located on Bellevue Road.
So it's a motion to approve. So if you were to vote yes, you're saying that the parish wants to go forward
Right.
with the proposed development.
Right.
If you were
Right.
to vote no, that you're saying that the parish does not want to go forward, does not support the proposed development.
Correct.
So at this time, we do have one registered,
Mr.
That-
Chair, Mr. Chair,
Sure.
I would like you to see if the guy can
Yeah.
go forward, and maybe we can refresh our memory of what's gonna actually happen and who qualifies and all that kind of stuff.
That-
Go over the qualifications again and how much of that land he's gonna take, how many acres or how much land is involved. I don't think we discussed that last time, and then,
all that was discussed, Mr. Jude.
Yes.
so-
The whole presentation was discussed. Now, if you're really insistent, I'll entertain what you're
I'd
asking
like
to
I'd
do.
like to see him come up.
I don't see any need for it, but I'll do it.
I don't think we need to disrespect a man like that, and I think we get.
We're not
to ask him to
disrespecting
come
anybody.
forward And come forward and let us ask him some questions. I may have a question I want to ask him. And I didn't get clarity last time. There it is.
It's David Strange with Roanoke Development. Thank you for having me back again this evening.
Mr. David, just tell us exactly what you're gonna do. Tell us what you're gonna do.
Okay. We received a grant of community development block grant funds from the state that was allocated to the state for disaster recovery from hurricanes Laura, Delta, and Ida. The state gave us $6.5 million in CDBG funds that we're going to use to construct and develop a $17 million apartment complex. It's 68 units. The site's 9 acres on the Bellevue is mentioned, and I don't know who's working the thing, but we can get to the site plan real quick if wherever it is. So
How many apartments?
it's 68 units, and the density is about 12 an acre, which is not very dense. There's probably 2.5 acres in the back of the property that's completely undeveloped that would be for retention, detention. We've already done our drainage impact study and sent that to Pan America. If you can go through some of this real quick. Go one more. All right, that's the site plan, and it just shows that it's 4 apartment buildings there with a large undeveloped area in the back. It's a gated community. It's built to the fortified gold standard, which is a hurricane-resistant construction standard. The apartment units are about $268,000 a piece in total development costs. It's an expensive construction technique. There's backup power at the development in the event that they were to lose power. You can go to the next one. That's exactly what they look like. We have 8 one-bedrooms, 28 twos, 32 threes. That's just a breakdown of the total development cost there. Go to the next one. The whole development is ADA accessible. As mentioned, it's fortified gold construction and flood and wet proofing construction. Go to the next one. And then, the most important thing is the units themselves are not subsidized. The rent is paid for by the tenant. It's not Section 8 or anything like that, but the tenant's rent is calculated based upon their income. And so rents vary greatly depending on your income for the same unit. And they go all the way up to people making 80% of the area median income. Go to the next one. It's just a chronology real quickly of how long we've been at this. We had an initial meeting in October of 2024, just kind of a very brief concept. Came back again and met with the parish president in January and turned in our preliminary site plan and stuff to begin the review process. As Evan mentioned, we have not yet gotten our DOTD permits. We're still working on some utility issues and things like that. So we don't have our full permittable set of plans, but as he mentioned, we're in concurrence that we just go ahead and present our site plan for approval or disapproval this season at that juncture. Go one more. Yeah, the last thing was just why here, how here, and that is in the state's housing needs assessment that they did for all of the parishes that were impacted by these storms. The Iberville Parish got a particularly high score as far as need. That 25% of the population rents. There really are no apartments here, certainly nothing new, nothing affordable. All these renters are just living in kind of single one-off mom and pop type, managed rentals that are not energy efficient, and they're certainly not affordable. In addition to there really being no apartments, there's certainly no affordable housing developments in the area. And so because of that, it had a particularly high score with the state, and that's how this particular grant application was selected, over many of the other ones. Go ahead. Again, this is just a survey of what market rents would be, kind of in the area, which does include, areas of Baton Rouge. It's a large market demographic area, but our rents are obviously substantially less than that. It just goes to show how rent burdened a lot of people are. lastly, I think that's it. And so I would say.
Traffic study, do a traffic study in and out of that area.
So, my understanding, we have not done a traffic study. We could if asked, but two things, that's a state highway. And as I appreciate the threshold under the development ordinance, we would have to hit a peak of 100, and that many units would not meet that threshold requirement. So we should be exempt from that requirement, but could if asked to.
Any other questions from the council?
Mr. President, you think this is good for the parish, bad? Can we handle this? You know?
I mean, personally, I think we need it, but just not their location.
Yeah, I think that's a determination that we've been working towards. The location being in proximity to residential housing, single-family dwellings. You know, when we look at the ordinances of the city of Plaquemine, because the way that the Bellevue is derived, you go down to Bellevue and this parcel of business may be property, city limits. You go to the next parcel, it may be parish. You go to the next, it might be city. So it is carving in and out. Now, the adjacent property right next door, there is an ordinance on their, I guess you could say UDC on their requirements that limits the height structure of anything. This project actually exceeds that height. When we think about some of those things there's a lot of other variances that go into play as far as fire departments. This is a 3-story building. What do we have as far as ladder trucks? So all those things are going to come into play long term. But as far as meeting the supporting residential communities of being single development, this project could be better chosen in a different location. That won't be, right there on the Bellevue, right next to single-family dwellings. It'd be great if we can get single-family dwellings on that property. But, he's trying to do a job. He's trying to bring, housing to Plaquemine. We all know that Plaquemine hasn't seen growth in a long time, except for subdivisions that have had, where it's not affordable by everyone, right? So if they could find another location, it may be more sustainable for the council to support.
Thank
I agree with
Hold
that.
on. What can we do to help get this project in the past? We need this. People need housing.
That's really out
We
of.
got a lot of people out need
Yes,
housing.
Mr. Dom, so that's
We got
out
a
of.
lot of young kids that are not living in good houses in the year of 2025.
And I think that's what Mr. Strange is doing. He's trying to look at alternative locations that the council can look at and see if it'd be a better fit. Now, what we also, we don't have zoning, right? And that's one of the next steps that we're working towards, creating zoning for the parish government, getting that master plan complete, and then moving towards zoning. And what we're establishing is, we're just in and out of the parish and the city, and how do we. You want to be good neighbors, because these properties, any properties that fall within the parish guidelines, we need to be agreeing and supporting the same ordinances and the same UDC requirements that the city has. Because, the way that this is derived, we have city council members in the same districts as parish council members, and there's a lot of variables that go into play.
Before we say no to this project, we need to really, really look into another area. We're trying to please everybody now, but housing is very important.
So I think again, Attorney Mr. Alvarez explained, this is not the final decision on this. This is on the conceptual consideration of what they are presenting. What this does
On
is
Bellevue Road.
on Bellevue Road.
That's what we consider
What
right
this does is it gives Mr. Strange the opportunity to whether see the support of the council or not in this location. And if the answer is this location is not the best location, then I believe his next steps are to go try to find alternative
I understand
locations.
trying to keep it off the Bellevue, but it got housing project on Florida Boulevard.
Okay, well, let me, Mr. President.
No else.
He's better.
This,
I do have one. I do have a question if I can ask.
go ahead.
I don't know, was this the same project that was proposed to Port Allen and Jefferson Parish, or just Port Allen?
It's the same types.
Same types. Okay, so transparency is big with me. So my question is, I'm still trying to understand. You're saying it's not low income, but it's gonna go on income, but where the grant's coming from, are you gonna accept Section 8 vouchers or no?
Yeah, any development that receives federal funds cannot deny a housing occupant that has a portable Section 8 voucher.
Okay.
But it's not a project-based Section 8.
But it will be
And one point of clarification to Chris's comment was that only one of the buildings that in the initial site plan was a 3-story building. The other 3 buildings were 2-story, but that's very easy for us to, we've got plenty of land out there, just make that one 3-story building a 2 by making it a little bit longer or having 5 buildings instead of 4. So, if it, to the extent that the height is the issue, that's something that we can very easily in the architectural planning stage.
And who manages it once it's built, and who controls?
A third-party management company. It's called NDC Asset Management. They manage probably 50 properties across the state.
DC?
N is in Nancy, DC. They manage all of our properties. They manage properties for lots of other developers as well.
Thank you.
I like the project, but if they want it in a different area, I'd like to see it in a different area, and I could support it if everybody in the community is up for it. I'm for it. We need roofs, and you pretty much gotta have a job to get one of these apartments. So it's not-
Okay, well, let me just say, excuse me.
Yeah, they got one in St. Gabriel. It's very clean, very nice. It's well kept. I pass by it all the time.
I developed, that's my property.
Okay.
I developed that.
You do a good job keeping it up.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have 3 registered people that want to speak. First is Ms. Lesanne Kirkland. You have 3 minutes, Ms. Leff.
Thank you. I want to say, first of all, that I'm not from that area, so my opinion is not going to carry the weight that theirs will. We do have a desperate need for affordable housing in the town. And I know that you said we had 3 people to speak. I think that a lot of people don't know enough about the project to feel confident to come up here, but they can come up with questions, which I know can't be answered right now, but one of these gentlemen mentioned something that went on in October. I just found out about this today. I had 3 ladies call me from that area, 2 of them in a panic because they just heard about it and it's close to where they live. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just giving an opinion. We really need something for the elderly. If there's going to be some kind of compromise down the road, but not 68 units, 3 stories tall. I mean, we have a very new community that's very close to them that bought, never thinking they would face something like that and the traffic involved. I think that asking for early consideration is kind of getting their foot in the door legally with y'all. I think there are a whole lot of others. I just think that the community should have been involved from the very beginning. I'm gonna stop right there and say I really think that there needs to be a lot more community involvement before anything's done. And I want to say that I was supposed to put 10B and 11B because I wanted to speak on the Shintech thing also, but I didn't do that. And I understand that that might not be allowed after the game, and I can respect that.
Sure.
I just think the community should have been involved from the beginning. 'Cause no community likes to be faced with a done deal. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kirkland. Mr. Ronnie Dahl.
Contrary to what was just said, I think the last meeting we got all the information we needed. 32 three-bedroom apartments, 28 two-bedroom apartments, and 8 singles. 68. Now, assuming everyone has one car, which has 2 cars. If you come out of the Bellevue, that's Sebastian Street. That street goes to St. John. And I know everybody that drove down to Bellevue, that turning lane, people going this way and that way, and they butt into each other. If the entrance of this place is going to be right across Mobile, you're going to have a 400-foot square foot. So people turning into St. John and people coming out of the apartment complex are going to be trying to get into the same turning lane. Unless you can guarantee to me that the sheriff's office from quarter to 7 in the morning to quarter to 8 and from in the afternoon will have a policeman controlling the traffic, it can't be done. Or get the state to put a red light, which is not going to happen. It's a traffic problem. He says he's under the 100 housing, so he doesn't have to have a traffic thing. We all know it's going to need a traffic thing. That's my concern, is the traffic for the children driving to St. John, especially, and then they're going to be driving to Plaquemine High. And it's right there in the middle for both of them. So that's my concern. So I would vote no to it.
Thank you, Mr. Starr. Mr. Sun, GW Sun.
Thank y'all for allowing me to speak tonight. I live one street over from where y'all proposing to vote on this site. I cut grass for a living. I've been in this parish for 45 years. I cut high-end apartments, houses, and I cut some shithole apartments. Some of them being not far from where the site is. You find drugs on the grounds, you find needles, broke down cars, you run over starters that people throw out in their yards. I'm not saying that's what's going to be at this one, but there's a bunch of them that I cut that's like that. We have a Catholic school that's less than 2 blocks away. There's a lot of traffic that goes through there. Young kids, teenagers. I don't see this needing to be in this community right there. A better site, yes, I'm all for it. We need rooftops. You know, if he came with a proposal to put 12 two-bedroom apartments through that strip of land, I'd be all for it. But we just can't have that. My shop is right there on Railroad Avenue. I got a 3-plex that's 2 stories high that needs to be condemned, and the city's working on doing that. They have 1 person left living in it. I don't want it to turn into what that is. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Sun. Okay, nobody else has registered. I just want to make this statement for myself. This is my district, and I'm opposed to this site based on my constituents. You only heard 2 of my constituents here tonight. If I ask, if you're a constituent and live in that area, can you stand up, please, so we can see how many of y'all are here? As you want to see. You know, they're all here for the same specific reason, you know, to oppose this. So at this point, do we have any more discussion from the council? Okay, I need a roll call. Ms. Macy?
Allen,
No.
Easley,
No.
Dominique.
No.
Frazier,
No.
Pierce.
Nope.
Jenkins,
No.
Markins,
No.
Bradford,
No.
Martinez,
No.
Darden,
No.
Morgan,
No.
Jewel.
I'm gonna vote no, but I would like to see do it in another location. I really would. I think we need the rooftops, and I think, as you can see, that location's out. But if you could come back with another location, I would entertain it. Truly.
Motion fails.
Same here, sir.
Real fast,
Okay, moving right along to C, consideration for a re-subdivision of Brandon Jofreon.
So the planning commission has already sent these.
Hold up, Brandon.
Everyone have time?
Let everybody leave, whoever wants to leave. Okay, Randall.
All right. The planning commission, this is the first month where we've instead of approving the subdivisions, we've recommended approval to full council for 3 subdivisions that we considered earlier tonight at a public hearing. Mr. Chairman, I need some guidance on how y'all, want this to go. I can talk about the 3 of them. They were in y'all package to review.
Well,
They're simple resubs.
I think what we'd like to do is for you to tell us about whose district each one is in. Okay, that way we can,
All right. The first one is a resub for Brandon Jofion. It's the address is 24825A Highway 386 in Grove State. So whose district is that? Okay. Yeah, this particular, I don't know if y'all, yeah, you see it on the screen. What they're doing, it's a simple resub. It's taking out, it's creating lots D1 and D2 from lot, which was originally lot D. So you're taking a full track and you're creating lots D1A, D1, and D2. D1A is the remainder of that lot. They're all significantly sized lots, 1.27 acres. The remainder is 5.98 acres, and that's along Highway 386. Yeah.
so Mr. Darden, do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, good, man.
Good.
Okay. You want to just
Okay.
let me just go to the next one? Y'all can vote on all 3
Yeah,
together.
go to the
Just
next
make
one, yeah.
Okay. The next one is a resub for
This is the one.
Jewel Lejeune. This is your district?
No, this
Oh.
is the one that's by Kirtley and Chuck by Jacob.
Okay, Kirtley and Bayou Jacob. Okay, so this particular one,
Oh,
Yep.
it's my district.
yep. All right, what we're doing here is we're surveying track A and track B into A1, B1, B2, B3. So I don't know if you can follow that. A1 into B1, B2, B3. So those 3 lots on the bottom are being cut out of the bigger track.
Ms. Easley, are you okay with this?
I'm perfectly great with
Okay, let's go to the next one, right?
All right. The next one is in Marriott. It's 11100 Highway 76. This is Cassidy Cascio and Melody Cascio was the applicant. I think it was Cascio and Torres was what the map was under. And this particular map, this is the one that was really small. Okay, this was a large tract. It's like 1,280 acres, cutting out 1.5 acres along Highway 75, I believe, 76, I'm sorry.
So whose district is this?
Must be Matson.
Is that you, Matt?
Yeah.
Are you okay with it, Matt?
Yeah, that's Brown property.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Do I have a motion to, in favor of C, D, and E?
Motion.
Motion by Stormy, second by Mr. Dominique. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Easley?
Yes.
Dominique?
Yes.
Frazier?
Yes.
Spears?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Bradford?
Yes.
Martinez?
Yes.
Darden?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yeah.
Jewel?
Yes.
Motion carries. Gotcha. Okay, on the resolution committee, we had a meeting before, and we're following resolution we carried forward. A, resolution to select the official journal for Iberville Parish Council for the period beginning July 1st, 2025, ending June 30th, 2026. I need a motion in a second. Motion by Terry, second by Mr. Darden. Any discussion? Roll call.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution B of the Iberville Parish Council approving Syntec Louisiana LLC for participation in the industrial tax exempt program in Iberville Parish, Louisiana. I need a motion and a second. Motion by Mr. Dominique.
Second.
Second by Ms. Easley. We do have someone from the public that registered to speak on this. Mr. Avance? Here he is.
Good evening, Luke.
Good evening. Sorry about that. For the record, my name's Luke Avance. I live at 58143 Main Street. For the past 70-plus years, we've been building infrastructure in this parish, training our workforce, using our prime position on the Mississippi River to support these chemical plants. We have all the assets needed for these chemical plants to succeed, and we keep giving it to them at a discount. Why are we undervaluing our property, our prime real estate on the Mississippi River? Undervaluing our workforce that y'all say if y'all don't give them this ITEP, that these plants are going to leave. Well, they can't leave. We have the skilled workforce that they need to support them, for them to be successful. If they leave, they don't have us. They lose a lot of maintenance downtime because they don't have a workforce to support their chemical plants. And also, these chemical plants say they support our local communities. Well, last week we had a major fire. Closest fire department, one of the closest fire departments, Shintech, right there, right down the road. Actually got 2 fire departments, 2 plants, closer than half of the 10 fire departments that showed up to that fire. Why don't they come and support us with something like that? They'll show up with the Chamber of Commerce, take some pictures for a tax write-off, but they won't show up when we're at most need, when there's an emergency going on. All they want is a tax break off us when we've been building for 70 years to support them. When are we gonna stop giving them a discount and start maximizing our value we have in Iberville Parish? We have everything they want and need, and y'all just want to keep giving it away at discounts. If they leave, well, guess what? We can revisit this in a couple years if they start leaving. But it's time to cut it off. Tell them that if they want to build, they want to use our assets, use our river, use our workforce, pay up. This is a foreign-owned chemical plant that y'all want to keep giving a discount to.
Okay, Mr. Evans, your 3 minutes are up.
All right.
We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Roll call, please, on B.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique, Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Motion carries. Resolution C to authorize Iberville Parish President to submit a grant application and act as official representative for the LCDBG program. Need a motion and a second.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion. Second by Mr. Pierce. Any further discussion?
The only thing that I would like to say, and I'm not putting this off on you because I know you've got your plate full, but in the future, I would like to see for better communication with anything that's on the resolution that kind of like goes, like that was a project with Patro Lane that I'm very heartfelt about. I would have just liked to known about that prior to reading it here. So just a little heads up in the future, please. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution D, committing Iberville Parish to the payment associated with engineering, construction, observation, geotechnical, and related costs in association with the application for funding under the LCDBG program. I need a motion in a second.
I make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Allen, second by Mr. Frazier. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Jewel.
Motion carries. Resolution E, certificate of Iberville Parish evidencing public approval of bonds pursuant to Section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended. I need a motion and a second. Motion by
I'll second.
Ms. Jenkins, second by Mr. Bradford. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Stark,
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution F, authorizing Iberville Parish President to sign and receive any documentation relative to the receipt of grant funds awarded by the Louisiana Supreme Court in Capital Area Human Services District for the Parish Drug Abuse Council's Program for Drug Prevention. I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Pierce,
Second.
second by Ms. Allen.
I have a question. If I vote no on this, what happens with the money? Is that money that we're waiting to get, or what is the? And if I vote no, do we revisit it? What,
Depends if it carries or not.
like if it would pass is what I'm asking. I'm just gonna tell you my only reservation is I feel like that with the substance abuse center making the decisions, we've already, like, Mr. Joel said earlier, you know,
No.
I'm trying to take money from anything, but I wanna see where the money's going as far as
Yeah,
the
they're not.
benefit of it.
Yeah, they're not making the decisions.
like-
It says council on drug abuse. That's a term that was used way back when the charter was. It was President's Council on Substance Abuse is what it was. It was not an actual council that was put together.
Right.
Yeah.
And once you get this information back from the person who looked into it, when are we
Now,
gonna
now, so
find
now
out?
the money that comes from the Supreme Court has to be used for the drug court system.
Okay.
And the prevention money from Capital Area Human Services District has to be used on the prevention program. That is that goes on in the elementary schools, which is the coping skills program, which we're in talks of revamping that because it's a
Because
little.
we currently don't have it.
No, we do. Yeah, we have a coping skills, which is a program that teaches the kids. I think it's third graders,
It's
second and
not
third.
just third graders, it's
Is it?
several grades.
Yeah, yeah.
But they have it at school.
And I'm not
Yeah.
questioning
Yeah.
we need money for substance
Yeah.
abuse, most definitely, but I'm just saying I've been fighting for this and I'm still not seeing anything taking place where it's helping, but
We get there.
I-
Promise.
while we're having
We
this
gotta make sure we-
conversation, somebody's overdosing and dying.
We
So
gotta-
I'm just trying
We got to
to
make sure we do it. What we do is effective. I think in the past, I'm not saying in the past we haven't found a way to get those folks in that are not involved in the court system themselves. And you and I have had this conversation already. We need to get it known that we're offering services to people who are not yet, going through that court system. And I think that's why I know that's why we hired the consultant to come in and show us how we can partner and how we can go about doing that. So.
thank you.
Okay, I need a roll call on this, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Joel.
Motion carries. G, resolution of the Iberville Parish Council supporting an application to Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development Transportation Alternatives Program for the 2025 DOTD TAP program. I need a motion in a second.
Make one.
Motion by Terry Bradford, second by Ms. Jenkins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley,
Yes.
Dominique,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Pierce,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Markins,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Darden,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yeah.
Joel.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution H, providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the result of the special election held in Iberville Parish, State of Louisiana on Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, to authorize the renewal of a special tax therein. I need a motion in a second.
Make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Allen, second by Ms. Jenkins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Easley. Yes. Stephanie.
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
Deacon.
Yes.
Markin.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Morgan. Doyle.
Motion carries. There's no further business. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Pierce. Motion